Hi, this is Bucks County District Attorney Matt Weintraub. I'm joined here at Ann's Choice by Kate Kohler, Deputy District Attorney. Kate and I work together. I just want to let everybody know, if you're just joining us for this segment, we do have our masks. We've been told by Ann's Choice that while we're on stage, we don't have to wear them so that you can better hear us. So Kate, thank you for joining us today at this virtual Senior Expo. I know we have a lot of ground to cover. Let's jump right in. Can you please tell us what you do at the District Attorney's Office as it relates to seniors?
Sure. I am a Deputy District Attorney at the District Attorney's Office. I have the privilege of serving the citizens of Bucks County under my wonderful boss, Matt Weintraub. I am part of the Special Victims Unit and the Elder Abuse Task Force, and as such, I lead investigations for the local law enforcement, police, and police departments into criminal acts that occur against older adults.
And we've been focusing today on, unfortunately, the many ways that our older adults can be scammed or preyed upon, but some of the ways that they can prevent that. Could you please tell us some of the ways that you've seen seniors be victimized that maybe weren't touched on by some of the other speakers?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we prosecute all kinds of crimes, unfortunately, and everybody is subject to crime, unfortunately, but older adults can be more vulnerable in some subsets. There is physical, sexual, financial abuse, and neglect that all pertains to older adults as victims.
Are there ways for our seniors themselves to spot the oncoming potential abuse or being preyed upon before it happens?
In some ways, those adults who have caretakers or who rely on other people to come into their home, they can sometimes prevent that from occurring by vetting those people before allowing them to have access to them. So for example, running background checks, checking references with word of mouth. If someone has a criminal record or is abusing drugs, it's probably a red flag, and you don't want them involved in your finances or involved in your personal care.
And I take it would be a good frame of reference to not just rely on yourself, even though you may be quite capable, but to have a second set of eyes, review any agreements, review any of your finances, any of your personal care, so that that one-on-one relationship doesn't make you so dependent only on one other person.
Yes, that's definitely a good idea. And in terms of, for one example of having a second set of eyes, a lot of elder adults get powers of attorney for their financial assets, and you can actually have an attorney go over that document before making it an official document and handing over all of the control to one person. And what that attorney can do is actually designate a third person, a third party, which is a second set of eyes aside from your own, that can keep that power of attorney honest and essentially require that any type of purchases or withdrawals from your accounts be documented by receipts or statements and provided to that third party, so that there's no, there's nothing nefarious going on.
And we've talked about the Bucks County Elder Abuse Task Force, and we've heard from some of our partners. I think it's a fair statement to say that we really rely on them to assist seniors in preparing documents and guiding them through purchases and trying to detect and prevent scams. Are there other ways that regular citizens can protect their loved ones who may be older adults? What can they look for? How can they make them safe?
Well, they can also be reviewing, in terms of financial abuse, the bank statements and credit card statements of their loved ones to look for any purchases that may be either not permitted or not authorized by their loved one. That's one thing. But in terms of physical abuse, that's going to be spotted by a loved one. When you have contact with your older adult loved one, you're going and you see any injuries on their body, either bruisings, burn marks, cuts, broken bones, something like that, and it's unexplained injury, or the explanation that was provided to you doesn't quite make sense, or even if it's an ongoing thing, every time you go to visit them, they have a new injury, that's a red flag that you should be looking into and reporting to a higher authority to look into as well. Also for sexual abuse, if your loved one suddenly contracts an STD in an unexplained,
Sexually transmitted disease?
yes, sexually transmitted disease, or if there's tenderness or injury around the genital area, that can be a red flag for sexual abuse. There's also neglect, and that happens too, where sometimes your loved one is left in their bed for long periods of time, and they can develop bed sores. That's an indicator of that. They also potentially could be, rapid weight loss or malnourishment. That's another indicator of neglect. And all of these things are things that you can actually view and visualize. They're physical indicators that you can report to law enforcement for investigation.
So a couple of points on top of that, Kate. Number one, if you have a loved one that you're concerned about, not only is it okay to ask questions, you should be asking questions.
Definitely.
And number two, if you're nervous that your loved one is maybe being taken advantage of or victimized, don't guess on it. It's okay to call one of these agencies that we've referred to, or call the cops, or call and contact the district attorney's office. Is that fair to say?
Definitely. And we actually rely on these other agencies a lot in vetting those cases, and they have a lot of specialized knowledge and can look into that before it even gets to the police. But so certainly reach out to them, but also if you believe a crime has occurred, you can reach out to any of your local police departments, but also Crime Watch. If you wanted to report it anonymously, there's a number and a website that you can report it on.
You made a great point there. If people are nervous or they don't want to be involved, so to speak, but they want to make a report, we do take anonymous tips on our Crime Watch site. I know we have a slide with all of our contact information on there. It is fair to say you don't have to, you can be a strong advocate for yourself or for your loved one, but you don't have to take the law into your own hands. I know some people get concerned about if they feel their mental faculties are diminished or they feel they've been taken advantage of and they may be embarrassed or humiliated. Should that stop somebody from reporting a crime if they think they've been a victim?
Unfortunately, it does stop a lot of people, but I wish it didn't. If anything happens to you, it's never your fault. And we want you to report that because we want to get justice for you, but we also want to prevent future victims. So please report anything that happens.
And I love to give you the last word, Kate. I don't know if there's anything else that's important that you'd like to tell the seniors that are watching us today.
I just want to thank everyone for having us here, and thanks to Ann's Choice for hosting. I do want to just reiterate one more time that if there's something that you believe is just kind of, doesn't pass the smell test or just out of the ordinary, don't guess. Let us determine whether or not a crime was committed. Just make the report, and we'll work it out from there.
I couldn't say it better myself. If you see something, say something. We want you to be safe. This has been Matt Weintraub, Bucks County District Attorney. I've been joined by Deputy District Attorney Kate Kohler. Thank you, and be safe.